So at this point, I was 1-2, 1 win, 2 losses. I knew my chances of getting top cut were really, really slim, but I decided to just play it out because, today wasn't necessarily about winning, it was more about the exercise and analyzing my games. So I decided to just play it out and see what happens. And well, my round 4, I am finally seeing a good matchup. Well, I chose to play Urshifu because, well, for 2 reasons. Because in Japan last weekend, Shadow Rider Calyrex won, so I kind of expected people to counter that and bring a lot of dark decks, which was only partially correct. If I remember correctly, the meta didn't have a lot of Shadow Rider Calyrex, but the dark decks weren't as prevalent either. The most played deck was actually my deck, the Rapid Strike Urshifu. But yeah, the Eternatus in this way, this particular list, it is practically a free matchup. So he has the Moltres that can attack, but I can take 4 prizes on 2 Crowbats. I can take 3 prizes on the Eternatus rather easily. So yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens. So if I correctly, I do win this coin flip and I will end up going first. Again, we are both evolving decks, like the Shadow Rider Calyrex matchup earlier. So we both want to go first. Well, going second with Urshifu isn't bad because you can use the keep calling attack from Sabel, getting you to Sabel and an Urshifu, or to Urshifu and a Sabel, or even a Passimian. But this is a solid opening hand. One thing you might oh well, never mind. He simply goes to the GG. Well, my opponent apparently had a lot of rough losses and rough matchups, meaning he simply wanted to scoop. I asked him if something was wrong, but he explains. But we decided to still play out the match. Maybe I should check if he had that better luck in a different tournament. I wish him good luck. And here he proposes we can play for fun. So let's do it. Again, as I was saying earlier, I wasn't really playing in this tournament for the packs or anything, but more as an exercise. So I am glad my opponent still wanted to play out. Of course, this isn't a good matchup for him. I'm even gonna say it's a really, really bad matchup for him. Maybe if he did play the weakness guard energy, but I'm not even sure if weakness guard energy is even a good card in Eternatus because you mostly play it for Urshifu or Zapdos, but Zapdos discards the energy before attacking, so it will most likely still go through unless you play 2 on the same Urshifu. I'm sorry, 2 on the same Eternatus. But then I will ask you what you are doing. So my opponent sets up its board, attaches an energy, simply passes. Nothing really much going on, nothing really interesting to note here. I have a third Sobble. Second, I am able to evolve in a VMAX, even evolve a Drizzile. One thing that's important that I noticed in practice was that if possible, you always evolve a benched uh, Sobble and not the active, because you are playing Tower of Waters to yeah, get you a free retreat, but the Drizzile isn't a Rapid Strike Pokemon. So Sobble is able to use the stadium for free retreats. Inteleon is able to use the stadium, but Drizzile isn't. So I do find that energy here, and I'm able to attack with the Urshifu and get me my first prize. It's kind of sad that I've only found the Rapid Strike energy and not the basic fighting energy, because Yveltal is now able to get rid of my energy, but well, that's something I am completely okay with. So I KO the Zigzagoon, take my first prize, and yeah, we're kind of freeballing from here on out. One thing that's interesting is earlier you weren't able to one-shot an Eternatus. And well, while you still aren't able to one-shot an Eternatus using Kill Trust, you do have your Inteleon pings. So 2 pings and a Guild Trust is enough to KO an Eternatus. Meaning if your opponent doesn't use Cheryl, and I don't think Cheryl is very good in Eternatus, you are able to ping it once, kill it, attack it, and kill it again, ping it again the following turn to take 3 prizes. And then your opponent probably has to send up something they don't want to, or you might even have the boss for game the following turn. Well, here I am just going to use switch, going to the Urshifu again with the air balloon. I am even able to get myself a second Urshifu in play, and still have those 2 quick ball to get to thin my deck out and to get myself a Dedenne to, yeah, grab it in hand. One thing that kind of sad about this play is that I will bench lock myself, meaning I won't be able to KO 2 Crobats using the Passimian ability. But well, that's okay, you can't always go for those shiny plays. And my opponent, he even has 2 one-prizers, meaning if I am able to get those 3 prizes on the Eternatus, I will also be able to, well, kill 2 one-prizers for game. Don't forget the quick shooting. And I will even, I think I will evolve another Drizzile right here to make sure he doesn't bring the Inteleon up. Do I? Or don't I? Don't exactly remember. Yeah, well, that was probably a misplay on my end. Um, although if my opponent spends his turn killing an Inteleon, he doesn't spend it killing the Urshifu VMAX. Yeah, I think evolving a Drizzile is probably better. But as we are going to see here, I am able to use one of the Drizziles I kept, well, to find myself a boss, use the other Drizzile to find myself the VMAX, and simply win the game. So as I was saying earlier, this isn't really a hard matchup, being able to hit for weakness is pretty great. Being able to ping on those Etern to fix those kind of awkward numbers is even better. I decided to use boss before killing the Eternatus, because if not, I was thinking he might have been able to discard all his Crobats, but in hindsight he had 3 Crobats and an Eternatus on his bench. I would have been able to kill one of those things either way. So yeah, well, I hope my opponent found that luck in the other tournaments. On to round 5.